Am I the asshole if I tell my boyfriend not to refer to and introduce me as his wife? My 30F boyfriend, 33M, have been together for over 5 years and have a 1-year-old son together. We've been homeless together, lost a baby together and slowly built our lives back up. He never liked the idea of marriage, saying, "I don't see why the government has to be involved and why we should have to prove our love to anyone. I get it, but marriage and a proposal are very important to me." He said he'd marry me because he plans on being with me indefinitely anyway and because he thinks it'd be good for our son. During my pregnancy he mentioned several times that he wanted to get married before our son was born. I waited but never got a proposal or anything. Last month was our 5-year anniversary and I thought it'd be great to get married that day. I was heartbroken he still never proposed, especially because he proposed to his last girlfriend before me with a ring and everything. I let the idea of a romantic proposal go and reminded myself that marrying him was the most important part. He said if we could pull it off he was fine with it. He wanted nothing to do with setting it up, which was okay with me. Even for our baby shower he said he didn't want to hear about it, so a family friend and I took care of it ourselves. I changed my schedule at work, picked a location, time, 2 witnesses and someone ordained to officiate. It was meant to be a small ceremony just to sign the license to make it legal. I ran some of the details by him throughout planning and he kept agreeing they were fine. 2 days before the wedding, the day I planned to go get the license, he said he felt forced and pushed into getting married, and didn't like the idea of doing it now. So I had to cancel everything and explain to everyone at work when they asked how the wedding went. It was so pathetic and humiliating. I went into a major depressive episode and didn't even think we would be together much longer. He said he'd definitely marry me eventually but not now. I told him after what happened I would never bring up marriage to him again. His response was, "Okay, great. That's awesome." Not sarcastic at all, just completely relieved and happy. But I also told him that I wouldn't just be his girlfriend forever. He didn't seem bothered by that. He was just happy I'd shut the fuck up about getting married to him. He recently introduced me to someone as, "This is my wife, Alicia." It felt like a slap in the fucking face. He'd referred to me as his wife occasionally throughout the years before the wedding fiasco, but the fact that he still today calls me his wife really upsets me, because he fucked off that chance when he had it. Would I be the asshole if I told him I don't appreciate being called his wife after everything that happened and to not refer to me as such? I want to make sure I'm not in the wrong before I bring it up and potentially cause an argument over it. Not the asshole after something like that. I'd correct him in public with something like, "No, I'm his girlfriend. I would have been his wife but he recently backed out of our wedding. I feel you deserve some clarity. He doesn't want to marry you but he feels the need to introduce you as his wife." Not the asshole. Here are some things you are now free to do that would still not make you the asshole. Get your own apartment. Get child support. Start dating other people who mean what they say. You do not need to discuss any of the above with him, because nothing this man has to say means anything. The man is a joke. What? When did we get married? Did I miss it? Not the asshole. Call him out on it. You're not overreacting or in the wrong. He wants all the benefits of being married without actually putting in any effort. If he's going to call you his wife then he actually needs to make it official. If you want to be extra petty, call him out in front of whoever he's introduced you to. Dude, I'm not your wife until you put a ring on it. Not the asshole. He has no desire to get married and needs to stop calling you his wife. Also, you should make sure you have your finances set up so you would be okay if this relationship doesn't work out. Not the asshole. And break up with this loser. If he's going to pull some shit like that, then you shouldn't be depending on him for anything. Who knows when the next time he'll flip and start gaslighting you will be, and make no mistake, he was absolutely gaslighting you. Get him in therapy or get yourself out of the relationship. Not the asshole. Your guy doesn't sound like he's into the relationship as you, and it is hugely insulting to call you his wife without making the legal commitment. I take it there aren't common law marriages where you live? Not the asshole. He wants the social benefits of marriage without an actual marriage. Do not give them to him. Not the asshole. You're not his wife. That's incredibly insulting, because you want to be, and he won't ask. And if he calls you his wife in public, he recognizes that people assume that you'd be married by now, and he's embarrassed. You've been together for a long time, and have gone through a lot together, but there are an awful lot of red flags here. Are you sure that you want to be with him? It sounds like he's never going to propose. I'm sorry, sad face. Not the asshole. He's done nothing to earn the right to call you that. Tell him. And next time he introduces you like that, say, "Hi. I'm Alicia, his girlfriend. We're not married." Correct this every time. He's embarrassed? It's awkward? Well, how embarrassing and awkward was it for you to call off your ceremony and explain it to people? Not the asshole, but I think you'd be better served asking yourself whether you've finally hit that breaking point you warned him about than having yet another discussion about it. Not the asshole. I am so sorry this person is putting you through this. 5 years is not rushed. If he wants to be married or not, he is very disrespectful to you and your feelings. Please know your worth, and don't stay with someone that doesn't value you. Him waiting 2 days before your wedding to say something is unbelievably selfish. Again, I am so sorry. This guy sounds like a real jerk. Not the asshole. I'm curious, why did his engagement with his ex fall through? Not the asshole. But what are you waiting around for? I'm sad to hear you're still together. Does he interact with your child, or is he disconnected from that role as well? Not the asshole. Please don't marry this asshole, although it doesn't appear you'll even get the opportunity. I don't know what his problem is, but people who don't like the idea of marriage don't propose with a ring and everything, so clearly he was fine with it when he was with the ex. Do you know why that didn't happen? Not the asshole. I would just dump him, but that's not what you're asking. I think you actually would be the asshole only if you keep your feelings suppressed, because they'll come out eventually as passive aggression or something else that you might not have control over. Sit down with him and explain where you're at, how you feel about marriage, how you feel about how he handled the idea of marriage, and where you're going from here. You should have dumped him when he made you cancel the wedding. Do yourself a favor and explain to him how you feel and then leave him. Believe me, if he would have loved you, he wouldn't do that to you. Not the asshole at all. You're not his wife, and if he wants to call you that, he needs your permission. YWNBTA. He can't refuse to commit and then use the term. He has some issues. Not the asshole. Your feelings are valid because they are yours, but also your boyfriend is a fucking dick. Not the asshole. He doesn't want to marry you because he's looking for an easy out if he may need one. This isn't appropriate behavior. You're going to have a serious talk and make decisions about your future together. Not the asshole. I'm pissed on your behalf. Not the asshole. But info. What happened to the girlfriend he proposed to? Did it all go horribly wrong after the proposal? It could be a matter of once bitten, twice shy, but unfortunately, my gut says he doesn't want to get married. If it's important to you, call him out on it. Or ditch his ass. Either way, it's an argument worth having. Not the asshole. He simply wants to parade you around as his wife with none of the commitment. If he wants to call you his wife, he better propose. I think you need to obviously have a conversation with him, but also consider how it would make you feel if he never proposed. If you're fine with it, stay. If you're not, you need to be prepared to make a decision accordingly. Not the asshole. He has no intention of marrying you and he hurt you deeply in the process. You have a right to be upset, and it's okay to tell him that and set ground rules. If he wants to call you his wife, he can fucking marry you. Not the asshole. But looks like he is taking you for a ride and will just tell you he will eventually get married just to buy some peace, bail out, then string you along some more. It's such a shitty thing to do. He deserves to be dumped. Not the asshole. You are just girlfriend, not his wife. Don't you want to be with a man who wants to propose to you? Aside from your child, why settle? You're clearly very unhappy in your relationship. I think you need some tough love. This man is never going to propose to you. He will probably let you drag him through a relationship for a very long time, but his heart is not truly in your relationship. You know what men do when they love a woman enough to make her their wife? They propose and get married. This man doesn't love you enough to marry you. The way he cancelled the wedding and his cavalier attitude towards your feelings, and to still have the balls to refer to you as his wife. Considering the number of years you've already sunk into this man, I think you have a lot to think about in relation to him. Is he really the one? Would someone who loves you and wants to be with you forever hurt you the way he has? Why did he let you plan a wedding he never intended on going through with? Not the asshole. I hope you find someone who appreciates you. If a man wants to marry you, he'll do everything possible to make you his wife. My fiancé wants to marry me within a couple of months of us meeting, as before he never thought of marriage. Move on before you're married and both are unhappy. Not the asshole. From what you have said, it does not seem like he is keen on getting married and that this is a deal breaker for you. This does mean you need to seriously think about where you are in this relationship. I also think you need to tell him straight that he cannot call you his wife unless you actually are married. If he continues to introduce you as his wife after this conversation, I feel that to a certain extent calling him out could curb this. Not the asshole, but so many red flags. He told you multiple times he wanted to marry you but never bothered to propose, and when you decided to take matters into your own hands, all of a sudden he feels rushed. Get the fuck out. After everything you two went through, he still doesn't think he's ready? You're absolutely right, you shouldn't wait around and be his girlfriend forever. But just promise that if you do decide to leave him, your choice, I won't tell you what to do, that you stand firm, because he might try to make you stay with a last-minute proposal he pulls out of his ass. And frankly, you leaving shouldn't be the reason he proposes. A very sassy friend of mine used to say, "No man has paper on me," meaning no license. He has no papers on you, and you really need to think if this is what you want out of your life. You always wanting to be married and him not giving that to you. If he truly loves you, wouldn't he want to make you happy? Not the asshole. Not the asshole, you are not his wife, and if he wants to start calling you his wife, then he can just fucking well marry you. Not the asshole. Is it possible he's hiding something and actually afraid of getting the license because he's actually married, or has been lying about his name or wanted or something? But even if that's the case, he should be honest. I don't blame you for being angry when he calls you his wife after the last fiasco. It's time you follow through and leave. He will never marry you. Not the asshole. Please check with yourself if this is okay to last thing long without getting married. Not the asshole. That sounds like a horrible situation for you. Honestly, I would have left him. 'Cause it sounds like he never intends to marry you, only says it to please you. Not the asshole. He's just not that into you. And #X200B. Wake up. Not the asshole. Honestly, this guy lied to you, made you depressed and humiliated you, and was literally happy at the idea of not getting married to you. And when you told him that you won't be his girlfriend forever, he doesn't care. Maybe take a real look at your relationship and think about what really in it, and if this guy really worth it. I'm reading this post and all I think is, deserve better than this. Not the asshole. But love, please be kinder to yourself. He is awful. He lets you handle all the heavy lifting of what should be joyful occasions, deepening and celebrating your family bonds, like he has to hold his nose to be seen as linked to you and the baby. Unless it benefits him. He lied to you and couldn't even be asked to help with the work of the cancellation he wreaked. And then he had the nerve to be thrilled when you said marriage was off the table, and apathetic when you warned you wouldn't be a girlfriend forever? There are men who not only want to propose, they'll love planning a wedding and a shower and a life together. Ones with whom the future doesn't have to be constantly in doubt. Free yourself to find someone you deserve. If he wanted to, he would. He doesn't want to marry you, and he never will. 5 years is plenty of time to decide. He's bullshitting you, lying to you, and blatantly disrespecting you. He had no issue embarrassing you and wasting your time and money. He was going to drop out from your wedding at the start. Dump this joke of a man and move on. Just because you have history and have a kid doesn't mean you need to be with him. You deserve better, girl. It won't be easy, but you gotta move on. Not the asshole. Never treat someone as your priority when you are their option. It sounds to me like this human is not ready for the adult relationship that you really want, need, and deserve. No one on Reddit can evaluate your relationship for you, but it certainly sounds like sitting down and really thinking about if there is a future here would be a good idea. You can't force him to be what you want, you have to accept him as he is and live your life. Are you happy with the status quo? Can you live like this for the next few decades? Either way, not the asshole. Not the asshole. And he sounds like an ass. Not the asshole. In future just smile and politely say, actually I'm his partner. You're clearly more than the word girlfriend implies, but make it clear that the stamp is not on that paper. Not the asshole. And at this point, even if he did agree to get married, I feel like he would continue to blame you for forcing him into it. You definitely need to think about the future you want for you and your son. If he doesn't love you enough to want to marry you now, he probably never will. Are you okay with that? Obviously he believed in marriage at some point if he proposed to a previous girlfriend. Not the asshole. What the heck is wrong with him? There's something deep going on. Fear of commitment, someone on the side. Either way, not your problem at this point. Please realize you are worth more than this. Not the asshole even a little bit. It's a thing for couples who have been together a long time to refer to their BFGF as husband-wife. It's real weird though, considering we have words in English for people who are in a relationship and not married. He has to know this is a sensitive issue for you. He is a gigantic asshole either for not noticing or for not caring.